All right, Latin and Rwanda team, this is Mr. Uman with a quick overview video. So, during your days in Rwanda during the week, you are obviously going to be teaching during the summer camp. And so, I wanted to show you a quick overview of the schedule. At about 7 from 7:30 to 8, the kids have a physical warm up. They play games, they arrive at the camp, and typically the team will arrive somewhere around 7:40, 7:45, and you'll join them. It's followed at 8 o'clock to 8:50 by breakfast, which again you'll join them for breakfast. And then at 8:50 you'll begin classes. So it goes from 8:50 to noon. So the way that it works is that there's three groups of about 15-ish, 12 to 15-ish kids. And those groups rotate between three different rooms. So again, three groups rotating in between three rooms, and for each room, they're going to be in that room for an hour. Now, during that hour is split up into two classes. So, say room number one right here is computer and yoga. So, you're going to teach for 30 minutes, you're going to leave the room, and then the yoga teacher will come in for 30 minutes. That group will then go to art and traditional dance, sorry, for an hour, and then that group will go to music and modern dance. Now, while group number one is going to those other classes, you're going to get group number two coming in for the computer and yoga. And so you are just going to have three consecutive half hours of teaching different groups. And again, you get a 30-minute break in between while the yoga class is going on. So that's just an overview of how it works. After class is done, you've got lunch for about an hour and a half. And then really the afternoon, like it says like 1:30 to 3:20ish, you're just playing games with the kids, football, basketball, volleyball, all sorts of stuff. And then by the end of the day, they are wrapping up and taking transportation back, and you all are grabbing the iPads and taking things home. So let's talk about. Oh, here's just a picture of last year's classroom. So um, you've got this was the room that we had computer and yoga. So for the first 30 minutes, I taught, and then the yoga teacher came in and taught 30 minutes of yoga. So the overview is this: you and a partner will team teach one CS lesson. So you're going to have 1 week where you're going to teach one CS lesson, and then the second week you're going to teach the same CS lesson. The first week of camp is typically for like elementary to middle school age kids, and then the second week of camp is like for older middle school to high school age kids. So you and your same partner will teach that same lesson to two different groups of kids. The day that you team teach, you're responsible for transporting the iPads to and from the camp, preparing a 30-minute lesson, delivering that lesson for three student groups that rotate to your class, working with the translator in the room. So I didn't mention, but every time a group of students comes in, there should be a peer parent, which is another name for a counselor there. So one of the camp counselors will serve as a translator for you, and so you'll give a sentence or two, they'll translate it, you'll kind of go back and forth with them. And then finally, at the end of the day, once you bring the iPads back to the apartments, you'll be responsible for plugging in the iPads at the end of the night. I will give you the schedule, the CS topics, and these are the video tutorials. At the end of the night, you'll be plugging in the iPads using a charging brick that Miss Dora gives you, along with the cables. Just make sure that each one of them is charged. You might, in this case, like you see in the picture, have two different outlets that you connect the laptop or the iPads to make sure that they're charged in the morning. Here's something important to know. So you've got 5 days where you're teaching, one group of kids, and then another 5 days where you're teaching the high school kids. On Friday, July 21st and 28th, all the team members will need to help with the final presentation. So the kids throughout the week will be learning skills on the iPad that they will use to make their final presentation. And their final presentation will be on the iPads. And so on Friday, during the presentation day, you'll just have to make sure that tables are set up, and that each kid gets the right iPad number that they were working on during the week. Okay. This is the document. You'll probably want to pull up a copy and then just save this on your phone as a PDF or something like that, just so you have that. Because this document, and if you go to that link, is going to bring up your schedule along with your teaching team, along with your possible topics. So here's the 17th and 24th, Monday the 17th and Monday the 24th. I've got Sophia and Maggie. And then these are the things that they will be teaching, okay? Down at the bottom, you'll see the commands learned. And then if there's extra time in that 30 minutes, here's some things to do. Okay, so I'm going to go through the checklist real quick, and then I will end this video. So all of the subsequent videos will walk through what's going to happen in each one of these lessons. But just here's a checklist you can use. So the evening checklist, so the night before you're going to teach, plug in all the iPads, be prepared to deliver a 30-minute lesson. Just practice the concepts on your own and decide who, between you and your partner, who's going to teach what part, and have a designated teacher iPad. Oh, one quick thing about who's going to teach what parts. If you're teaching, like, say, for example, you're teaching the part about moving commands and sprite commands. Well, your partner is not just sitting there waiting for you to finish. They're walking around and making sure the kids are following along, okay? The morning of, when it's your day to teach, make sure that you load all the iPads and bring them to the classroom. There should be some kind of bag or travel bag you can use to transport them. You want to leave the chargers and the adapters at the hotel. And when you arrive at the school, just place iPads on desks. So I don't know what the configuration of the current school building will be, but be ready to just put two iPads on a desk for kids to use. Another thing, as far as the iPads during the day, yes, you're leaving the chargers and adapters at the hotel because at least in the previous school that we worked at, there were no electrical outlets to plug things in. So the iPad should last the morning as far as a charge, but you will want to make sure if there are extra ones, you can swap them out in between teaching groups. During and after class, making sure that each kid gets the iPad that they used previously. So on day one, Maggie and Sophia will be responsible for make sure that you give out an iPad that has a number on it and that tell the kids and the peer parents to have the kids remember their iPad number so that they get it every day. Again, I mentioned this, swap the iPads in between classes so the batteries don't get drained. Hopefully you'll have enough that you can swap them out. After your 3 classes are done for the day, keep iPads in a secure case and bring it back in the van at the end of the day. All right, here's some just pro tips. Don't let the kids play on the iPads during the day. You'll find that they want to play with it. Of course, they're just interested. It's super new and novel to them. But we don't have enough iPads to make it fair for everyone. So don't let kids play. Put the iPads away. Keep them tucked away, so it's not so it's equitable for everyone. And you'll also notice that sometimes kids may want to use PhotoBook or other apps while you're trying to teach. Just gently redirect them. This is an overview of the week, and now the subsequent videos are going to just overview and demo each lesson.